everybody, welcome back to Dailies by Daylight, and we have a lot to talk about today. So, it's been a bit. In fairness, it's been Christmas, and that's kind of partially what we're talking about, and hey, I've been very busy. So, we have the winter event going on, as we can tell by the wonderfully snowy kind of like main page here, and oof, geez, people are gonna be freezing over there. Bare forearms in this weather? Ugh, wouldn't recommend it. Maybe also possibly build up the fire a little bit more, you know, but yeah. But the winter event brings with it some new items. There's not terribly much for the killers, it has to be said, but the Ugly Sweaters collection and the Holiday Horror are in full swing and available. So the main thing that the Holiday Sweaters collection adds, you might have guessed it, holiday sweaters. So the vast majority of survivors, not everybody, mostly it's just the licensed survivors, so Laurie Strode, William Bill Overbeck, and Detective Tapp get heckle, but everybody else gets some form of distinctive seasonal Christmas wear. And they're relatively cheap and inexpensive. Let's see if we can just find Claudette's. I'm not actually seeing it, that's interesting. I know Claudette has one. I am probably just being blind, because the heck knows, I can be. But, no, seriously, not around. Huh. Here we have Prep for Success, we have Snack Time, we have Versatile Argyle. I think those two are, yeah, different practically. So it's just Snack Time, currently, for Dwight, which is not a terrible look for the pizza-selling man. I mean, he definitely has worse looks. I actually kind of, ooh, that does look kind of nice. Oh, I'm liking that, honestly. Dwight, you can never look good, but ooh, you are trying very hard. Okay, Meg. What does Meg have? What's her sweater? If indeed she has one. Yep, there we go. Buzzer beater. Swish, of course, for the athletic. Also, actually not bad. I don't actually have very much in the way of cosmetics for survivors, because I don't play Survivor much, because I like to keep my wrist functional. But, yeah, it's nice looks. And, oh boy. Happy ending. Just, you chased up a... Okay, right, yeah, it gets worse, everybody. Oh, it is so handy having the capacity to spin our survivors and whatnot around to view all the angles, as it were. Well, I guess technically it's only about 360 angles, but still, that's a lot of angles to check people from. What's Nia wearing for the season? Whoop, here we go, Cat Lady. It's actually quite cute. I gather cute isn't quite Nia's thing, but that is cute. Not bad. Fang, a very popular survivor for people to play. Level Up, yeah, game over. Your choice as to which person involved is actually, like, either one, but yeah, not bad, not bad. I do like playing Fang. She's about my kind of height and a very similar build, but none of her cosmetics remotely approach me, so bleh. Unfortunate. And for David, we have the rugby shirts. Okay, you actually got your arms covered. Good, you can be nice and warm. And I think that's meant to say ho-ho. Good try. Yeah, well, rugby. Yeah. Not being, like, similar in physicality to Fang, you can imagine I'm not exactly big on rugby. But, yeah, who knows. And, for one of our more recent survivors, Kate Danson, we have Mustang Sally. Quite cute, it's not terrible, I would say, not terrible. We've got the music at the top there, because she's a musical person. Adam, our studious man, naturally, right down to the apple, right down to the apple. I have not the slightest bit of time to go through all of these equations and make sure they're correct, but I'll take it on the basis that it's Adam that they probably are. And last but certainly not least, we have Jeff, the most recent addition with the most recent killer, who we'll be talking about momentarily. You have Death's Head, because you're a rocker, and death metal, and honestly, you can be scarier than some of the killers if you wear this, like, cosmetic for him. Because, oh boy, eek. Man dresses up well? I don't know if nice would be the phrase here, but definitely well. And the only killer that gets any cosmetics from this event is the clown. Because now that we have a pot-bellied man, we can have, Carny Claws. Not exactly the most sensitive of names to choose for that, but and yeah, you can. There. He definitely sells villainous Santa Claus. I'll give him that, but I mean, oh, geez, seriously? With the undone fly and everything? God, I hope those aren't maggots coming out of his crotch, like the rest of him up here. Ugh. But yeah, depending on who you ask, it would seem, the clown is a sexual predator, and putting him in a Santa costume... I'm not going to go at length about that, suffice it to say I don't think it was necessarily the best of ideas, but I can understand why they made it, even if they may not have thought it through. But the one, the only that we'll be talking about chiefly today is, of course, the Legion, for they are many. So, Legion is an interesting character in that they are multiple characters. Instead of being a singular killer, they're a group, and they're meant to evoke the sort of slasher movie thematic wherein you don't quite know who until the very end is the actual slasher killer, and at various times it could be multiple people. So that's the kind of thematic from horror movies that they're trying to go for with this. And to that end, they have a number of different outfits, and you can tell here they even have different, like, physiologies and such, so that they can be different genders, as well as just various different styles and such. So there's at least 2 girls, there's at least 2 boys, and one of them goes hard on this, and the slack trousers, I don't like those in real life. I don't think I'd ever be actually using those in-game. But the rest of you looks pretty sweet, even if I tend towards playing the girl killers, because I tend to prefer how they play. But Legion, I am most interested in for what they can do. So if we head over to Legion, inside of the Killers menu, we can find out a bit more about them. So, plump. So, the perks are the most interesting. I'll get to those in a hot second. They're Frenzy, however, let's start with that. Legion has a Frenzy power gauge that builds up over time. The power, Feral Frenzy, can be activated by tapping the power button. Fairly straightforward. You imagine this most of the time from, like, Nurse and this and that sort of thing. While active, the power gauge drains rapidly, and the power ends when the gauge is empty, triggering an extended recovery cooldown. We are still very much on the kind of Nurse mechanics that we're familiar with. Whilst activating Feral Frenzy, Legion sprints faster than base movement speed, very fast in fact, can outrun a survivor in most cases, not with sprint burst, but still. Legion can vault pallets without breaking them, which means that you can actually just completely defeat a pallet loop if you use Legion. Survivors' scratch marks are hidden from the killer's view, we expect this anyways, and missed attacks have a reduced cooldown, which means you get Unrelenting for free, basically. And while Feral Frenzy is active, hitting a survivor who is not currently afflicted with the Deep Wound status effect will apply it. The Deep Wound status effect is sort of like a bleed out timer, not unlike Borrowed Time. In fact, Borrowed Time now applies Deep Wound instead of just using regular old Borrowed Time. Whenever you injure a survivor who is not afflicted, you also refill the entire power gauge. Your terror radius is increased for the duration of the power, and you reveal the location of all survivors who do not have the Deep Wound status effect, which allows you, basically, to stab the entire survivor team in a single usage. Now, of course, this isn't a guaranteed, but their perks do kind of lend them to doing so quite frequently. While Feral Frenzy is active, hitting a survivor who is currently afflicted with the Deep Wound status effect reduces your bleed out timer, well, reduces their timer on the Deep Wound, and depletes your entire power gauge and ends the bar immediately. That does mean that you can take 2 whacks on somebody. You theoretically will have to eventually, and they'll have a shorter time than everybody else to bleed out. But the main thing that Legion is very good at is slowing the game down. Because if you don't tend to your Deep Wound, and you can do that even without self-care, you can clear up yourself that way, you're going to drop down, and they're going to know where. So that's kind of a big point with Legion, is they're meant to make the survivors focus on healing themselves up first, at the very least, so they can then go and work on the generators. And as we can see, movement speed is, terror radius, height, meh. Taller than Amanda, I think, but yeah. But the perks, as I've said, are what really interest me for Legion. So our first one, Discordance. Anytime 2 survivors or more are working on the same generator, the generator's aura is highlighted in yellow for n seconds. 8 at the base level. That means you have basically radar ping on whatever generator the survivors are currently trying really hard to get done. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can get there fast enough, it doesn't provide you any boon in getting there, but it does mean you know where it is. and that then forces the survivors to work individually on generators, which, whilst that still constitutes gen rushing, does slow them down quite a bit. Obviously, there's a slight non-bow here, because if they're working on generators individually, they're a lot harder to get multiples with your Feral Frenzy, but you know, that's still pretty powerful. For a lot of killers, that would be immensely dangerous, and indeed, I am looking forward to unlocking it. And then we have Mad Grit. While carrying a survivor, you suffer no cooldown for missed attacks, and successfully hitting another survivor will pause the carried survivor's wiggle timer for 2 seconds. So not only do you negate the benefit of taking the hit when a survivor is trying to body block you from getting to the hook, but you can knock them down as well. That's pretty nice, to say the least. And then we have Iron Maiden. You open lockers 30% faster. Okay, decent. Not terribly many perks interact with lockers that way. But survivors who exit lockers suffer from the exposed status effect for n seconds, starting at 15, and their location is revealed for 4 seconds base. So for the Doctor, this is immensely powerful, because the Doctor's static field, if you will, is only really deflected by being in a locker. This basically also means that anybody that goes into a locker has a pretty dang likely chance of being knocked down from full health with 1 hit. So again, Iron Maiden, really powerful. It doesn't mean that you know what lockers are occupied. It doesn't tell you at all if a locker has a person in it at a time. No, it's not an aura perk in that fashion, but it does mean that when they come out of the locker, you're gonna know about it, and they're gonna really wish you didn't. So as I say, Legion's perks are what really have me interested. His Feral Frenzy, it's decent, it's handy, definitely. There's a lot of rumors that Legion's gonna be seeing a buff, because right now they kind of have a bit of trouble actually downing survivors more than just wounding them and running around, because the Feral Frenzy naturally leads them to be running to and fro survivors rather than focusing one down. But we will, nonetheless, be getting to them, because I have a daily for them. With the Legion, apply the Deep Wound status effect to 4 survivors. In theory, I could do that in 1 Feral Frenzy. We'll find out, though, because I only have level 5 on Legion so far. Because, still working on Rin. Who knows? Maybe Boba can help along that later. But for now, we're going to be sending out the Legion, and our Legion member of choice right now is Julie. Because as I say, I tend to prefer the girls. And the hunting knife, and just... We have Julie, hooded leather jacket, and Frank, the Legion grinning mask. It's nice that you can mix and match these, but it does lead to some weirdness. I'm not sure what's under that mask, if it is indeed Frank's face, for instance. But, without any further ado, let's see what perks I'm packing today. Obviously, I only have 2 slots, that's why. I try to keep all of my killers at least level 5, just so I at least have 2 slots. And what I'm going with is, do I want to go with Iron Maiden? That is a question. Mad Grit could be interesting. Could go for Haunted Ground. Ooh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Now, if we go for Distressing, your terror radius is increased by 24%. The highlighting of Feral Frenzy's unaffected survivors is dependent upon your terror radius. So there could be some nice, mix there. I'm not expecting many people to go into lockers. Especially not if I'm playing Legion and they don't yet know if I have Iron Maiden. Of course, they'll know it pretty quickly if they get out of a locker and don't have Exposed. But let's try Distressing. I want to see how that turns out. And then I'm definitely packing Discordance. I want to see these survivors panicking and splitting up, and that's the first way that you die in a horror movie, is you split the party. And for add-ons, I get Heckle, really. Slightly increased movement speed and slightly decreased depletion on successful attacks, I guess. Sure. And I don't really have anything here, unfortunately, so let's create a lobby and see who we get. One very prolonged load screen later, we have a bunch of survivors. It's probably a swift and I'm going to die, but we'll see nonetheless. Nothing tremendously sticks out with them about being terribly dangerous, but, well, I've been fooled before, so let's see how this goes. What are they bringing? Okay, objectives. Hidden, and increased luck for everybody. Interesting, 2 veils. That could mean everybody starts together, which would be very good for me. Or it could mean that they just start with somebody else. Ooh, Larry's. With high speed, this could be pretty straightforward, but... might also just be a massive pain in the neck. We'll find out, I suppose. Whoop, and there is our yellow generator indicating that there's 2 people over here. Oh, and I went the complete wrong way for this. Hello, Dwight. And everybody else is over here, so I'm just gonna go back to Dwight. If I can find him. Why didn't you run? You really should have run. Why are people failing so rapidly? I haven't done anything yet. Nice Christmassy hooks. Okay, there's people working over here. We know Dwight went somewhere. What? Yeah, okay, they're just never gonna get this done. I'm beginning to wonder if they're trolling me. Huh. Well, they accomplished something. I'm not seeing another generator. So they're possibly working on them alone? Could that be it? Oh no, there they are. Now my one... I'm starting to think Legion might not be terribly quick just by base. Because it feels like it's taking forever to get over here. Or maybe I'm just used to, like, faster killers. That's one. That's 2. Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna knock Meg down entirely, why not? Oh, and they're getting to that one as well, okay. But if they're all packing up onto getting 1 generator at a time, I at the very least have the luxury that I know they're not gonna get more than one. Okay, now Claudette was over here. And appears to have, oh, very barely, by looks of that, gotten their mending done. Okay. Now if they're smart, they'll be picking the furthest one away, which would be that one over there. But I don't see them working on anything right now. They might be trying to save their friend. Nope, no touching on that. No touching on any of them. Okay, as near as I can tell. Obviously, if they're working on them individually, I'll never know. But I don't think that's the case. Hello, Claudette. Oh, dang it. So close. Hello, okay. Well, I hopefully will not even need my power to get rid of you. Oh, you've put yourself in a corner? Why? What is... This is unusually, like... I don't want to say bad, but low-grade kind of, like, play from even the survivors I tend to face up against. And admittedly, I deliberately try not to be fighting top-level survivors, but I'm getting confused. Okay, that's still regressing. Whoop, is that... No, that's just somebody failing on a generator, okay. I continue to be confused. Oh, and there goes Meg. Okay, so they weren't working on that together. But they still lost somebody. Now, it would probably help them to be... What the... Okay, I don't know what ended my frenzy there, but you just dead-hearted into nothingness, so I'll take it. I'm very confused. Maybe they're lagging really badly, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask them what on earth they were up to. But obviously to do that, I'm going to have to like, end the game. Which I should be able to do. Did I see somebody's head around here? Yes, I did. Here we go. Now, I sure as heck did not see anybody else. So let's just get you down. I don't actually... have I gotten sleeve zipper? I feel like I've gotten sleeve zipper. Genuinely couldn't tell you. Let's put you in pride of place up here. Center table, everybody. And looks like Wexley might be going down. There we go. Okay. Ooh, fair bit of progress on this now. Let's get rid of that. Obviously, barbecue and chili will be very helpful here. Other aura reading perks would definitely be very good. Sloppy Butcher might come in handy as well, just for knowing where they've gone. There's a whole ton of perks that could work very nicely with Feral Frenzy. But because I'm only level 5, I don't have any of them, so... Okay, that's a lot of scratch marks. Oof. You dodged my entire frenzy and then you walked in front of me. Oof. Well, I think my distressing is giving me a hand for actually indicating where people are when I'm stabbing them in Feral Frenzy, but on the other hand, I don't really have the perks to tell me, or to like even give me the capacity to go that far. So... 2 of one, 5 of the other, I think. Whoop, hello. Dwight? Oh, nice. Of course, as Legion, you can use Feral Frenzy to dive straight over. You didn't. You totally did, wow. Well, my other perk as Legion would have done heck all there, but if he'd gotten out of it, I'd have noticed. Now, where could Claudette have gone? That is our question now. And my terror radius will be keeping her well away from Dwight for the moment. Okay, she's healed up. Right. Where to next? I think we've definitely gotten our daily at this point. I see her. And she's not going for the save. Okay, well, that's game, I think. I am thoroughly confused. Everyone had green ping going in. So, I don't quite know what to make of this. Except that I am very confused. Okay, there we go. Now, in Frenzy mode, your capacity to stab people is very rapid. You can do that. You can stab people very quickly, but of course, if you don't stab people who don't have the deep wound debuff on them, your frenzy ends immediately. But, oh boy. Little detail. Oh, didn't quite get to show it. The survivor is actually in the hook the entire time that animation's happening, so you can stab empty air and get it. Okay, well, we got that, unsurprisingly. GG, I am very confused. Let's see, what was I looking at there? 17, 18, 15, 15. Okay, and they had some nice perks as well. And let me see, I had Shroud of Union, start with someone else. Shroud of Union, start with someone else. I am Garbo Killer. Basically. But that's Legion. So, we might try and see about getting some play against Legion, but the load times right now seem to be quite long. So, that might have to be saved for a different time. But in the meantime, I hope you've had a great Christmas, a happy holiday season, there are many right now, and hopefully a good new year. So with that, hope you've all enjoyed, I'll catch you all as ever next time.